Shout out to War Thunder for sponsoring this video. We already talked about car owners getting dumber, then car drivers getting dumber, but now let's talk about car buyers getting dumber.
I drive a 24 Altima and my car payment's is $730.
Y'all, I cannot be getting behind these $700 car payments.
$1,000 plus car payment. What are y'all doing to survive?
With average car payments pushing $800 a month for new vehicles and even used vehicles pushing $500 a month, with average loan periods going nearly 70 months, it's no secret that we've got quite a few people buying beyond their means if averages are looking that high.
What kind of car do you drive and what's your payment?
Ram 3500 dually and it's $1,300 a month.
Wrangler 1148 a month. We got that 570S 3100. Drive a Hellcat. My monthly payment is $1,227.
An analysis done by Edmunds reveals 20.3% of buyers, aka 1 in 5 people, are spending over $1,000 a month on car payments, and this is up from 18% just the year before. A crazy increase completely unheard of just a decade ago. Like, shout out all my comments on my Overpriced Car Epidemic, and my heart does go out to people who are just trying to buy a car in this economy to get by, do work, and commute. But there is a huge difference between a guy who's paying the average or below average of $500 a month for a used car versus the guy who's paying double that. At some point, we have to take personal accountability. The first guy is just struggling to get through the economy, whereas the second loaner has absolutely shot themselves in the foot and also screwed the rest of us over, since with each one of those buyers who keeps signing dumber and dumber loans, the more confident dealers feel in keeping prices high and the less negotiation that they're willing to put up with. A few years ago, this was already the case, and I told this story back in 2024 how even 40-plus-year-old salesmen regularly use TikTok because they know the most vulnerable crowd to scam uses that platform, and they will refuse to sell cars below MSRP because they genuinely know that eventually some desperate TikToker is gonna come through the doors, they're super insecure, and they're just gonna sign away paper after paper because they want to flex a car on social media regardless of how much of their life they ruin and how little money they actually have, but they just want to be fake rich, right? It could also be they're just dumb and don't have reading comprehension or basic mathematical understanding. And as much as I want to make fun of car dealerships and hate on salesmen for being the scum of the earth, this does make sense. It's their job to research the market. So they started to realize, why should we publish billboards, newspaper ads, or TV commercials when the only people reading those are Gen X and boomers? And statistically, those are the generations that have a lot of patience. Shout out to Gen X because they keep cars on average 12 or more years. Boomers are a bit more likely to buy cars because they have more disposable income than Gen X, but they still keep cars around average of 10 years. Millennials, meanwhile, keep cars on average for 8 years. However, adult Gen Z terrifies me, so middle of the road and older Gen Z, aka all of us who are over 18, we're now going as low as 5-year car ownership. Guys, what are we doing here? We have the least money. Like, who am I kidding? It's because of social media, isn't it?
I want to like choke on my own vomit. And before you say, Jess, the average car is like $35,000. I don't care. You don't need a $35,000 car. You want a $35,000 car.
2025 BMW M2 and I paid $1,500 a month. It's
Finance.
Would you pay $60,000 for a Toyota RAV4? Toyota thinks so.
If you think about getting a car, bro, going to debt, just do it, bro. If you want that Corvette C8, right? If you want that Mustang EcoBoost with a turbo on it, if you want that Ford Raptor, you want that TRX, go on a debt, bro.
They know depreciation exists, right? Like, I'm not saying you can't buy nice cars in your 20s. I did, but like, just wait even 1 or 2 years and most cars will drop several tens of thousands, especially luxury cars. And by the time you're looking at 5-year-old used luxury cars, like for example, a current generation BMW M8 competition, you can get for around 50 grand just by buying 5 years used. And that is down from a price of 138 grand new. My point being, let someone else be the idiot and tank the brand new MSRP, preferably the people older than us who have more money anyways, right? Do not let it be you. Like, surely we can just develop the patience to just research a bit more and find a used one, right? I don't want to hear the answer to that, don't I? We're really that cooked in terms of instant gratification, aren't we? But you know what's not cooked? Our sponsor today, War Thunder. War Thunder's the most comprehensive vehicle combat game ever made, and it's free on PC, consoles, and mobile. You can control over 2,500 vehicles, including tanks, planes, helicopters, and ships from 10 major nations, all the way from the 1920s to the present day. The game features incredibly detailed vehicles, which combined with realistic graphics and sound effects, immerse you in intense combat. My personal favorite part is the damage model. Individual engines, weapons, and even crew members are modeled to recreate their real-world counterparts. Every time a vehicle is destroyed, you can review the damage X-ray to see precisely where the shell penetrated and how the vehicle was destroyed. That is so awesome. This simulation is accessible to every type of player through 3 different game modes: arcade for fast-paced action, simulator for ultimate realism, and realistic mode, which strikes a perfect balance between the two. The deal is you can join War Thunder's community of over 95 million players in large-scale PvP games for free on PC, console, or mobile using my links in the pinned comment and description below. I've got a massive bonus pack waiting for all of you new and returning players who haven't played for at least 6 months for PC and consoles. It includes the exclusive vehicle decorator Eagle of Valor, 100,000 silver lines, and 7 days of premium account. It's free and available for a limited time, so be sure to check it out. Thanks to War Thunder for the sponsorship. Now on to Chapter 1. You know what's also a huge problem? Why does everyone want the maxed out, fully optioned, and highest trim car of every single model these days? There was a time where people used to buy a completely base model car for the sake of weight reduction, since less features meant less tech, less parts inside of it, less electronics, and thus lower weight and faster track times. A base model also lets you build the car how you want to. To be fair, I will mention this isn't just personal accountability, because dealers and manufacturers are absolutely in on this together. They're no longer stocking as many base model cars, which is also why people aren't buying as many, because just like every other industry nowadays, they're collectively trying to drive up car prices and make our wallets suffer more as a result. However, you know who I'm not gonna excuse? People who go out of their way to buy luxury cars, right? Completely brand spanking new. No way they accidentally tripped and fell into the dealership that morning, right? That's a conscious decision someone does to buy something way beyond their means.
Again, this is why you don't believe what you see on social media. I'm not calling anybody out. A lot of this stuff are lies. This profile has a lot of followers, says that they're a 7-figure CEO and all that, but guess what? He or she only has $10,000 max. If you are a 7-figure CEO, you should have more than 10K in your bank. You're a CEO. All right, just to break down, you got a 2023 Range Rover Sport. You have $10,000 to put down. You have a 640 credit score, haven't missed any payments, and you pay $2,200 a month.
People buying Civics aren't being maliciously stupid financially. We'll get to that later in the video. Some of them still get tricked into it. But someone who's de facto choosing a luxury brand, you are already subjecting yourself to a luxury experience, meaning that it's going to cost more. So be prepared to pay more. Like, it blows my mind watching all these fresh out of high school or early college students in their late teens to early 20s sign nearly 100 grand loans, sometimes of almost 100 grand more in interest, because they don't know what APR and compounding interest is. We'll get to that later this video too, so stick around. And this basically results in them paying 200 grand, basically supercar money, but instead of getting a nice unique supercar, so if they were going to financially suffer, they could have at least gotten something unique, but nope, they are literally getting the exact same car that every single one of them is getting. And the sad part is they all think we're the poor people because they confuse debt and having nice items with actual net worth. Every time I see these MFs on Caleb Hammer's channel, they're super confident and cocky, and they're like, yeah, I got it like that. I'm not like your usual guest. And then they proceed to be sit the f down and end up being exactly like all of his usual guests and be well into the hundreds of thousands in debt, because turns out you don't actually own that car, the bank owns that car. But even aside from car guys on TikTok, it's not just speed and performance when it comes to feature creep. We also got non-car people falling for feature creep, since every new car comes loaded up the wazoo with 10 million tech packages. Like, holy crap, I don't need lane keep assist, auto parking, blind spot monitors, 10 different forward and reverse reverse camera angles, and 2 smart TV-sized iPads in the car. Not only do these features bloat the price, they also will fail someday, and that's also by design. These companies are super greedy, and they want to add more planned obsolescence to not just drive up the car's initial price, but also make you visit them more for service. And when they do fail, they cost a fortune to replace. Like, I hate to say it, I don't hate to say it actually, I genuinely mean this. Like, analog things work like indefinitely, and they're way easier to repair. There are plenty of cars that are even pushing 30 years old that have buttons and dials and even CD players or cassette players that still work, whereas some of these smart screen, touchpad, whatever the heck BS infotainment systems start breaking after 7 years. You kind of had to see this coming, like, maybe 10 years from now this wasn't going to be a good idea, because computers and phones don't even last 10 years, and putting one in your car means that that one will be replaced in a decade or so too. And even something simpler like blind spot detection, I still prefer like an $11 Amazon blind spot mirror instead of shelling out hundreds of dollars on a system that's not even going to detect a motorcycle reliably. They're seriously, to this day, they still fail at that. You know what never fails you? A mirror that reflects light, which uses the literal physics engine of life that has been maintained for billions of years at this point. So like, that's literally just, a mirror will always still be a mirror. It's just gonna function. Unfortunately though, you and I are in the minority as more and more buyers are willingly shelling out several thousands more on these tech packages and continuing down the trap of planned obsolescence and creeping up these loan prices and loan durations as they stuff their car with useless knickknacks that they're not even going to use half of them for. Is there just some kind of consumer virus that is possessing people nowadays? Like, aside from dumb car buyers, let's just look at other consumer goods very quickly. Like Labubus, for example, that's last year news. Stanley Cups, that was the year before that. Now we have people fighting over literal blobs of jelly, like Neatos, I think is what it's called. I watched like a Moist Critical video about it.
Neato craze is getting out of control. Oh, this is what I saw.
Ow! I just want one, ma'am. I just want one. Just give me one.
Neato restock today.
Only those with a number will be sold in Neato.
Line is all the way to the back, all the way at the door.
Are we selling them? Are you kidding me? We only have.
Holy Lord, this is all for Neatos? Wow, I guess they really are the new Labubu, huh?
I don't get it. Nor do I want to get it. This is just not something I care to understand. This is literally peak NPC behavior. And this is done by people who claim to be unique and quirky and super different from each other, yet here they are, all doing the same exact thing, lining up like drones to buy the same exact thing, all exhibiting the same exact personality. You know what's not NPC behavior? Subscribing to my channel, because if it was something that everyone was doing, I'd be Mr. Beast by now, which clearly I'm not, and I would absolutely appreciate it if you subscribe and enjoy weekly epidemic slop. And I don't even want to be Mr. Beast, actually. I just want to have enough money to pay off my medical bills and my taxes that I just got hit with by the IRS. So help a brother out and just hit that subscribe button and like this video if you enjoyed so far. Anyways, this is the type of stuff you see with car brands too nowadays, which brings us to next chapter.
The G80 M3, the Lexus LFA, Hellcats, the GT3 RS. What do they all have in common? Relatively young cult followings with more loyalism and obsession than ball knowledge and experience.
Overpaying for brand prestige. Why does every college-aged girl in America want a white Mercedes? And in that same vein, why does every college-aged boy want a G80 BMW M3 in specific? And why does every OF model now have a Porsche GT3 RS? Again, I want to state, these are still nice cars, and I'm not gonna hate on people who actually like these cars for the cars. But let's not get cute here. There are a lot of clout chasers who are ruining these amazing legacy nameplates that have some of the coolest history amongst car guys just for clout, just for clicks, just for attention, and they're failing at that even because, like, genuinely, at the rate we're going, BMW won't have enough G80 production numbers to keep up with this kind of demand, especially with how many of them are just crashing it. And I swear I'm just seeing a new page pop up every day with another G80. Like, why do all of them think they're unique and special by owning these vehicles and that they're gonna be the next biggest influencer who will totally make back the $100,000 loan that they just signed for these BMWs by being internet famous? Yeah, don't worry, mom, I'll pay off the loan by being famous, mom. And you know what's crazy? These people overglaze like brand prestige. They used to make fun of the Corvette and Hellcat for being redneck mobiles, and Corvettes can never be real supercars because they were made in the millions. The Porsche 911 also has its production numbers in the millions. biggest nail in the coffin to that point is how like a lot of them are like, yeah, you know all those people who used to like buy Hellcats when everyone on Instagram had a Hellcat? I'm so different. That's why I got BMW G80. Like these two people are two sides of the same coin. By trying so hard to avoid the redneck American mobile, they have literally just all fallen into the same trap of buying the exact same BMW. Like it's actually crazy. I literally don't hate Hellcat owners nearly as much as I used to because I don't even see them nearly as much as I used to. Like you go through social media nowadays, it's actually kind of rare to see a Hellcat on the feed. It's just all BMW G80s or Porsche 911s. It's actually wild. Y'all can keep drowning your debt and keep getting your reputation ruined by OF models for all I care, because like genuinely this is just like, I've got a brutal reality check for them. They're not unique and we're getting sick of seeing them.
So like, I was like, this was my dream car, like a GT3 RS before, because no one knew what they were. But now it's become like the new like it car. Yeah. It like is like the new R35 GTR where streamers, like girls, everyone wants it, and it makes me like it a lot less.
Yeah. 1,000 of these MFs are being printed each and every day, and I doubt most of them even make back enough money on social media to pay a single monthly payment. This is especially sad where I recently learned on Caleb Hammer's channel how much TikTokers actually make when he actually gets some TikTokers to go on his show. There was this girl with quite a few 100,000 followers with posts that had several hundreds of thousands to even some millions of views, and I'm not joking you. She was paid like 50 cents or maybe like 20 or 45 bucks for like the millies. Imagine getting a big milli view video and you get like a few bucks for it.
Okay, it's time to get a career.
That is a career.
No, it's not for you. You're making a few $100 a month.
I used to think that was a rumor, but after talking to more TikTokers and creator discords and group chats, and it's gone a little better, but it's overall still a struggle out there. Like just to give you context, on YouTube, a short that gets like 1 million views can get anywhere from like 200 to like 1,000 bucks, which is a significantly more reasonable payout for getting something that reaches 1 million people. And it's easy to only watch viral videos and think the subject matter alone is enough to get the big bucks, which is why they go, oh, I saw this viral video of like some big car guy who has like a Porsche GT3 RS or a BMW G80. That's why I bought it. I'm going to get the exact same views. And it's like, no, that guy's famous because he has a personality. And those people, they can literally sell that car tomorrow and still retain their followers. In fact, they're the trendsetter. Whatever car they buy next, the next person moves on to. Remember when TJ Hunt had the Subaru BRZ and everyone in their mom wanted that in like the mid 2010s? At least that was a cheaper, more reasonable car. I'll give like, and he also kept that car too. Like super cool, right? Like car culture was just different back then. You built your cars, you modded your cars, you appreciated your cars. Like when it comes to viral trends, it's just never worth chasing. I mean, just look at what happened with what I talked about early with Stanley Cups, Labubus, and now these Nitos. When it comes to materialistic trends, they change over the years. But having a personality, you will retain viewership significantly longer because authenticity endures. The reality is most of these MFs who are just buying a car solely expecting it to carry them to success and somehow pay itself back, they're not gonna make it. So they shouldn't buy or loan a car way beyond their means because they think the internet is magically going to pay them for it. Don't be like these people. Buy a car because you either need it to get to work or because you do genuinely love it. I don't want to shame car enthusiasts who do still enjoy these cars and genuinely want one and can genuinely afford one too, right? Like if you're just smart about it, let one of these dumb suckers tank the stupid brand new price and do what I said in chapter 1. Buy it used. You can literally get half off by just waiting 3 to 5 years, and that's funny. And another thing I want to reiterate is like, even if you are a car enthusiast, sometimes it's okay to just start small. You can buy Honda Fit, Mazda Miata. In my case, I literally started this channel with a Nissan Sentra, not even like the Nismo or the SER, just a normal Sentra. Make content for the love of the game, not to expect a paycheck. So I talked about this in the Brokey Epidemic already, which I highly recommend you check that video out if you haven't already. Speaking about monthly payments though, they will ruin your 20s and even your 30s if you don't understand them fully. Which brings us to the final chapter of this video.
I was working at Mazda and watching people get absolutely ripped off with their car finance every single day. Customers would come in needing a car loan and we had to mark up their interest rates by 2% just because it was legal so the company could make more money. I would see young people signing loans that they did not understand, paying thousands more than they needed to because nobody explained their options.
Fine. I'll do it myself.
Too many people only look at monthly payments when buying a car, even though there are quite a few other numbers that matter way more that they should also be keeping track of. Like, let's play a game. Two people are buying a car, guess which one paid more? So you have someone who bought a Honda Civic for 25 grand at 29% APR for 84 months, and here's his monthly payment. Meanwhile, you have this other guy who bought a sports car for 42 grand at 3.99% APR for 60 months. You'd think the Civic guy is the responsible buyer, right? This guy is looking for a commuter car that's 17,000 less buckaroonies on the listing. After interest, that Civic actually costed 60 grand. Meanwhile, the sports car guy paid only 48 grand. Yeah, the Civic guy actually paid 12 grand more. Now, this isn't me saying don't buy Civic. This is me proving a point that monthly payments don't mean anything if you get screwed by these 3 letters. APR. People do this, by the way. These are not outlier cases. We've shown clowns who spent 200 grand plus on American muscle cars, all because they had no idea how APR or markup or other factors on the paper worked. They just looked at the monthly payment only.
If a dealership shows you a piece of paper like this with the payments on it, you need to run far, far away unless they do this one thing for you. Watch this. All right, man, got the price of the car, trade value, down payment. Why don't we go ahead and get this wrapped up?
Yeah, I'm not doing that. Listen, I want a copy of the out-the-door price and an approval at 7.9% that I'm pre-approved for, okay? So go get that for me.
Yeah, my manager doesn't even really know how to use a computer, man. That's why we handle all this stuff. It's going to take him hours to get that done.
Listen, I'm going to stop you right there, dude. If you don't get that for me in 3 seconds, I'm leaving.
Okay, I'll be right back.
Now, the most evil thing I want to point out on this Foursquare method, which is very common for basically anyone buying a car, this is what you're going to be shown. Notice how it doesn't make any mention of the monthly loan duration or the APR. 2 of the most important factors. So I always want to reiterate this. APR is compounding interest, not simple interest. So don't look at the price of $20,499 here. That means nothing. That's not the total price you're paying. That is the starting price. Let me repeat that. That is the list price, the generic list price that everything is going to multiply off of if you don't know the APR and loan duration. And because APR is compounding interest, like, let's just throw this in for fun. If we throw 29.99%, just like with the Civic, you're paying well over 40 grand for this car. If you're doing the 7.99% rate he's doing, this is the number you're getting instead. Now, I will mention times have changed. So for any Gen Xers or millennials who are like, wow, that's still a bad rate. Well, that's just life nowadays. Even good credit gets around like 5-6%. I'm talking like 740 over. And remember, the reason we know these aren't outlier cases is because we have averages that are constantly moving upwards. Because I don't know if I need to remind anyone, car prices have not been getting better. They've only been getting worse since the pandemic onwards. Not a little bit, not the 3% normal inflation rate, significantly worse each year. So obviously that means there are a ton of people who still fall for this. We have to lock in and collectively learn APR and compounding interest, because I'm sick of watching us be complete fodder and just making rich even richer and being completely helpless targets. Like, they literally love bullying us, and that should wound some Gen Zers' pride and make you lock in and realize that you shouldn't be taken advantage of. You're smarter. Prove them that you're not dumb. This is the first time I've used the Civic example because I've made fun of Hellcat owners enough, and I've made fun of G80 owners enough for this video. I really wanted to hammer home how royally screwed anyone can get, even people who think they're being responsible. If they just misunderstand these 3 letters on a piece of paper before signing, they get bum rushed by interest and end up paying double the car's original price. This happens with Honda CR-Vs, it happens with Toyota Avalons, it happens with a lot of normal grocery getters by people who think they're being responsible, who end up getting screwed over in life, and it's tragic.
Interest rate right now is 26% and it's on a 54-month loan. And honestly, I made a deal with the devil.
Calling a customer on a 2014 Honda CR-V he bought for $18,000. He owes about $16,000, pays about $515 a month.
Also, I do want to make another reminder for older folk watching. Times have changed. I'm not going to do the whole, oh, well, just buy in full, because I saw that a lot in the overpriced car epidemic. And I know people who say that mean well. I used to meet a lot of boomers at car shows that would try to give that advice to their kids, only to realize that their kids are literally going through the trenches right now, because this isn't the 1970s anymore. The average car price new isn't $3,500. Yes, that's an actual new car price back then. And like used cars aren't like $500 off like a grandma's lawn anymore. But when it comes to Gen Z, the reality is like $3 to $5 grand on Facebook Marketplace. Get something that barely moves, has like rusted paint, and like 200,000 plus miles. So most of Gen Z, because if they aren't really that savvy with cars and that mechanically inclined, that's going to be a really unreliable car that they're not going to be able to fix. So if they want a car that moves, realistically, they're looking at 10 grand. And if they do want a slightly nicer car, like I think in this economy, if you're not being selfish, you can still get a really decently running car for 12 to 15 grand. I don't think you have to go to the used car price average of 26 grand. I think for half that, you can still find decent cars. But that's still a lot of clams, right? That's 12 freaking bands. That's not at all what boomers think the car market is like. Like, yeah, Dave Ramsey, guess I should have just bought a house in 2008 when I was 9 years old. Like, times have changed. I don't expect people to get these magical interest rates and pay in full and blah, blah, blah. And I don't think you're an evil person for loaning a car in this economy, because I get it. You need transportation. You need to get around. That's my best advice. Don't look at monthly only. Budget around 10, 15 grandish for the overall car price. Don't loan more than 60 months, and don't take interest more than 15%. And if you are taking interest that's that high, bear with it for first few years if you need it for transportation, but then refinance, all right? And guys, don't forget about the War Thunder bonus pack you can grab using my links in the pinned comment and description, which if you are new or haven't played in the last 6 months will include multiple premium vehicles, the Eagle of Valor vehicle decorator, 100,000 silver lines, and 7 days of premium account. Available on PC and consoles only for a limited time, so make sure to check it out. Anyways, thanks for watching, and if you've learned something valuable this video, make sure to like it and share it with your friends you want to bring with you to the top when the economy finally bounces back from the bottom. Subscribe for more weekly epidemic slops sprinkled with occasional hopium, and check out my other videos. I'll see y'all next time. Bladed Angel out.